what's going on, soulmates? Welcome back to my channel. I am Miss Sabrina Soul, and tonight we are gathered here tonight to discuss the last part 2, the last episode of Ready to Love Dallas. Pio looks over it. Yes. So much that we are probably over it. Tyrone is not going to be here with us tonight. He's saying RIP. Yes. We will have Stacy joining us in a few minutes. She's going through some things, getting her computer and stuff together, so she will be joining us. But I want to start off this I guess live by saying that your girl, I am competing for the next new beauty face of Fab Over 40. And I would love for you guys to vote. I will be saying it throughout this live. I would love for you to support me in a vote. You can vote. It's absolutely free. If you want to give donations, you can. But the link is down in the description box below. It's the very first link. Definitely, I would love your support. If you support me here, period, I would love for you to support me over there for Fab Over 40. I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity, and I would love to partake, and I would love for you guys to support. Anyway, shout out to you guys. It's 47 of you here. I see the numbers rising. Shout out to my soulmates in the chat. I see you guys already. Y'all are ready. Y'all are ready. We're ready to get it over with. So just to let you guys know, for the ones that's coming in, because the numbers are going up, Stacey B will be joining us very, very shortly. You guys can go around the room, let them know who you are and where they can find you on socials, if you have a YouTube link, etc.
What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the #1 commenter, and we just here. If you can check me out on my channel, it's J Dub. I do reviews on reality shows, and I'm here with Sabrina and panel. And we ready to wrap it up and ready to get this over with. So I'm gonna pass it over to P.O.
Yo, you already know what it is, man. It's your man P.O. 100 sightings on IG, 100 sightings. Like, I see you too. I'm ready for this to be over. This is so much of a train wreck. I'm just trying to pick up the wreckage and scoot it off to the side of the road so we can all move right on.
Facts. So before we begin, because it's a lot of new subscribers here, can you let them know where you're from? Because a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you know what? I am from Potomac, Red and Love Potomac season 5 or 6, however you look at the catalog. Whatever one they say Potomac is, that's me.
All right, Stacey B, we literally just got started. Let everybody know who you are, where they can find you on socials, and how would they know you? Oh, you're on mute, boo.
That's about right. That's on par. Yeah, I'm Stacey B. I'm from Ready to Love, Houston. Generally speaking, I've been the one to love everybody, but this season has presented so many challenges for me to stay to straddle the fence, and it's really been a challenge for me. And so if anything, I've just had verbal growth, opinionated growth from this Dallas season.
Okay. All right. So just to let everybody know, I am Miss Sabrina Soul. I am Sabrina from Ready to Love DC. And if you want to follow me on all my social media platforms, actually everything is at Miss Sabrina Soul, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm really on it, Threads, and YouTube. If you're new here, definitely make sure to subscribe. I would love to have you with my soulmate family. Also, all my links are down in the description box below as well. And also my Fab to 40 link, if you want to vote for me, is the very first link in the description box as well. Don't forget to like this video. If you are watching from J Dub's channel, make sure you like his video. Make sure you keep the comment section going, because that's what fuels us. I put the comments on the screen as well, and we can discuss as we go. I will be putting the screenshots up there. If you guys have anything you want to say or any input, like I said, the comments will be on the screen. But if you have anything that you feel like you want to discuss, definitely put it in the comment section as well, because this is the last episode. We're not coming back on anymore to discuss Ready to Love Dallas this season. So we're done with it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, I would like to know from you guys. I want you to sum up everything, how you felt about the season. I don't care if you take 5 minutes. I don't care if you take 10 minutes. I mean, because this is the last season. The last episode. And honestly, this review is not going to be this long. So you guys are important, and what you guys have to say about this season is important, I'm sure, to the viewers as well. So J Dub, would you like to go first?
I guess I would, because I like to get mines out the way. I don't I'll try to make it as long as I can, because again, I'm with the masses. I'm ready to put this to bed, because I feel like I was struggling all season trying to figure out how bad this season was, and I've came to the conclusion probably about 2 episodes ago that this was the absolute worst season, because again, I'm from the original crew of people who look for this show to discover love. Like it's possible, but it feels like we're doing something else here, and that's where I'll have the issue with. And it's like I haven't seen a season where the connections have been so forced and so lacking, and people have been so unintentional. I really didn't get this season, and I was hoping for something so much better. I would say I don't know. I don't know what it is. Was it a mismatch of cast members, or again, I thought they had originally picked a good pick for the ladies, but now really looking at the guys, not so much. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm the first to say, I always tell y'all, I told you I saw this from the beginning. I have to admit where somewhere I was wrong. I'm actually one of the people who said Janelle is going to be one of the people who stand out, and she had me fooled, So I'm gonna be first to admit it. I was wrong about Janelle. It was so disappointing the way she behaved and acted. What can I say? I don't know. Maybe I got her mixed up with Aries at first. I don't know. I'm gonna try to give myself some grace, but absolutely, I went up for Janelle and thought she would be, one of the shining stars. But boy, I was wrong.
She was definitely one of the shining stars, though.
Yeah, not in the brightest way. It's like a villain, an infamous person. No,
like a burning star, like a meteor.
Yeah,
like they say, any publicity is good publicity, right?
That's what they say, but I don't co-sign or subscribe to that at all.
P.O., what you got? Your overall views of season 8, Dallas. Anything you want to say about the show, the cast, produce, anything? You're on mute.
I'm sorry. I don't know any of these folks in the real world. I do know I met one, but that's about it. This was a disastrous season, right? It was so much of a disaster, like that they have to usher in something new, a new element to clean up the nasty, foul taste that was left in everybody's mouth. If this season was rated, if this season even carried good ratings, right, I would be shocked. I would be shocked. A lot of people that I know stopped watching this season because it was so much foolery, so much BS, so much manufactured connections and manufactured drama and situations. Everything seemed to be contrived. Like there was nothing to this season that said, you know, there's some authenticity out here. None of that. That was not. It didn't exist. That part, and then the cast in itself. Like I've never seen so much people at each other's throat. Like this was a totally divided cast. Like, you can tell who the cliques were, who the members of one union was versus the other union. That should not be like that shouldn't, you shouldn't even be able to see that in
me.
or in a love story or something like that. It shouldn't be that easy to determine, you know, who's with who and who's with what. Um, like just in total, I know that there's another Dallas season, but I wouldn't be surprised that you know, because of this Dallas season that they won't scratch the part two or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It was they had probably crappy writers, crappy production, crappy everything. It was not a show to be sold. It was basura, trash, poop, rubbish, just Garbino. I'm done with it.
Well, how you really feel, P.O.?
well, P.O., since we're in the last week of National Hispanic Heritage, American Hispanic Heritage Month, I love the fact that you said basura, because it is definitely, oh, and all my repping for my folks. Yeah, I was very disappointed in this season. I feel like, you know, the good people always go first. We know that. And I just think that we've never seen such a non-believable finish where people were literally trying to make it to the end to one up the other ladies or the other fellas. Like, that was garbage basura. You said it so great, Paul. Basura, basura, basura.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. I mean, like, I've had a chance to, you know, I normally don't watch a lot of the socials and stuff. And this weekend, I even had to hit my girl Sabrina up because I was like, girl, this is foolish. And she was like, girl, you know, so. And yes, y'all, I came back with the braids. This is probably going to be the last one, the last day to have them. So pray for me as I start on the journey tomorrow of removing them, taking them out. Hope my son or my girls help me with it.
All right, guys. So, oh Lord have mercy. All right, so let's get into it. I'll give my final thoughts at the end, but let's get into it. Someone asked, was Tyrone going to be joining us tonight? No, Tyrone will not be joining us tonight. Unfortunately, I think this is the first one he's ever missed ever. But also, too, if you would like to join the live towards the end to tell us how you felt about this season, I just want to give you guys like time to get camera ready. The link is in the bio, but towards the end of this live, if you would like to come on and join us on the screen to give your thoughts, you don't have to show your face. We would love to hear your thoughts with this season. Pretty much anything you have to say. So, wowzers. All right, y'all ready to go ahead and get started?
Let's go.
Please.
Perfect. Here we go. All right. So we pretty much have, okay, so just to let you guys know that we're going to be reviewing Ready to Love, the reunion part 2. That's what we're going to be discussing tonight. And the episode starts with the pretty much, I guess it's a cliffhanger from last week with part 1. And the episode starts with the fight with Janelle and Tequila. You guys know that Janelle came into the scene and she was like, whose feather or someone's feather. And then that's when Tequila was like, you know, like, let's go. And Janelle was like, let's go. She was slamming on tables. Tequila was flipping tables. So it was a lot. So that was that. So would you guys like to comment on that? Because I really want to hear your thoughts. A lot of people are saying that Tequila provoked it. A lot of people are saying Janelle provoked it. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on their scene in that fight.
Okay, you know, I usually like to get out the way, and I can say from my view standpoint, I mean, I don't know how anybody else could see it any other way. Janelle mentioned the feather, and we already know Tequila was already rocking back and forth on go, ready to do it. So, you know, that was provocative, but did Tequila have to respond in that way? No, but Tequila is Tequila. She doesn't hide it and let everybody know she's toxic in every which way there could be. So, you know, Janelle at a lot of times plays that innocent role. You know, she does the picking, or she acts like she doesn't understand what's really going on, or has this skewed view of, you know, just the situation. So of course she started this one, and she jumped. She put the bait out there for her. And did we need to see this, or did we want this? No. But you know, I'll go and disclaimer to have to say, you know, I'm absolutely not a Janelle fan at this point. I mean, at this stage, it's just been too many situations where she's been the denominator. So yeah, even when she right, she wrong. So, but she did it. She did it.
Huh. So I'll say this. I found it very interesting that you have all of these professional Black women, right? And I understand that disagreements happen, but couldn't two women find the words, right, to represent themselves the best way that they could on a national TV platform? Like, what is, I mean, and I get it, you know, emotions are high, but you don't have to go as low as the dirt to show somebody that you can clap back. Like, I think stepping on top of the dirt, you know, and walking over somebody that challenges you in that way is probably the best approach. Because at the end of the day, they look like the fool. But this was like, you know, a whole bunch of angry buffoonery just sitting here ready to launch stuff. I mean, you know, everybody was the said parties were probably on edge, waiting. Oh, I can't wait till the reunion. I'm gonna light them up. I just don't think that this is a productive way to go about yourselves on both sides. If you're looking for somebody in the future that you know you're trying to date or whatever, how does somebody you know look at this product and want to purchase it after they see this mess? Because now they know how you resolve conflict. So,
Well, I think the network saw early on the feedback, because I know they watch us here as well, and that's why we have the Ready to Move giving us a break, because it was so overwhelmingly negative. Our experience with this season has been negative, and everyone said it from the jump. Everyone, regardless of who they favored to begin with. Um, you know, down here we got something to say about everything. We have a phrase for everything. And Paul, you're talking about mud, and it reminded me, you know, it's a saying down south. I'm sure y'all say it up there. You go to bed with dogs, you wake up with fleas. And I think it was a flea problem on this season. We saw, all right, from what we know, what do we know? What are some of the facts? The whole whose feather, oh, feathers. We knew that happened prior to Tequila going on and having to sit there. We saw her be exceptionally emotional behind her experience on the reunion. We saw her just sitting back there wiping her tears and everything else. Like, we've seen that. We saw it with our own eyes. We know the sequence now. We can confirm that the whole knocking over the table happened before sitting on the sofa. We also got a glimpse of Janelle proving our point of she's a nasty, mean girl. Why be so nasty and so rude? You know, we saw her because when she thought the cameras were not rolling after her exchange with Kat, and I'm sure we'll get into that later, she called her a B, the B word. So, and then we heard Jessica later also say the bees. You know what I mean? So we can see that there was really mean girls on set who was provoking everyone. In their professional skin, they came out on camera being very manipulative and acting like they didn't just throw rocks. They hid their hand while filming for the most part. I also want to say I felt it to be very distasteful. You know, when you have I was a harsh critic of Kira early on because I'm like, how can you separate yourself from, you know, like this Black experience, and how can you not feel like this like how can you feel this way? But then I also saw like people just being so nasty and so rude. And it was just so much to me. It was so damn much to me. I really hate to see it. I'm very disappointed. I think it was total trash. There you go. What's the word? Say it again for me. The word of the night is what, Paul?
Basura.
Hold up.
Paul says basura. Everyone take a drink or a sip.
So Stacey, are you saying that you can relate to Kira White Boots, that you got to separate yourself from the Black experience from what you just saw, like what Janelle does? Or
I would never say that. That is not my experience in life. I don't feel that way at all. But I will say that we were very critical of her for that. And then we have this other segment of Black women that are constantly just pulling other people down and being degrading and rude and petty and just damn evil. You know what I mean? So if at the point that I thought we couldn't go lower with Kira, which I will go on record, I can apologize to her because in the reunion we saw her remorse for it, and like it was a learning lesson for her. Like, and she admitted it out of her own mouth. You know what I mean? So I saw growth, you know, but like with Janelle, it was very like she has no self-awareness. Or maybe she's aware, she just don't give a damn.
Oh, well, you know,
that part.
it's another saying out there. There's a difference between Black people and, you know, the N word. It's a difference. So we all don't represent each other. You know, it is different sections and brands and toxicity and all that going on. So I get it. And that's funny you said it. These are great conversations because I mean, I didn't see Kira really accepting responsibility for the way she put herself out there. I mean, she has the right to put herself out there. I just thought she was really hurt by Marie, but really non-self-reflecting when it came to pinning Q as, you know, just a man who likes white women and Latina women only because he's from Florida. But we're gonna get into that.
So that was a different stereotype. It wasn't a character assault. And I said that and I kind of got like distracted, but now I know my point that I was trying to wrap it up and tie it all up, bundle it up together with. We heard Janelle constantly saying, Fort Worth, that's Fort Worth over there, that's ghetto. And here, come on now. You are characterizing a whole county of people. And you are fueling the stereotype of people from certain areas, Black people from certain areas, from different cities or towns as ghetto. Like I can't get with that. I can't get with that. It don't matter if whatever, you know, is whoever predominantly lives there or, you know, what it is. But I just feel like we're upset about this, but this lady is literally being judgmental of another woman based off of where she's actually from. I mean, people toxic everywhere. People have bad behavior from everywhere. But when you sit here characterizing the whole place like, oh, get it. I got another phrase for you, J-Dub. And I remember my 8th grade English teacher she said it was a very humbling moment because we had our little clique in 8th grade. Now, mind you, I'm saying 8th grade, 7th and 8th grade, and she looked at we were one of my besties had said something to somebody in the clique had said something, and my teacher said, "Don't break your neck trying to be so high." And that's what it was. Like, Janelle tries to present as so high and mighty. And I don't know her from Adam, but from what I could see, and this is based on what I saw with my own eyes and heard with my own ears, don't break your neck trying to be so high, sis.
Are you you said you're talking about Janelle, or are you talking about Kira?
I was talking about Janelle. I was saying, like, we were so annoyed with Kira, but then we saw it play out at the reunion how, they were being very judgmental towards this woman based off where she that's Fort Worth, that's ghetto. Oh, she's like that's crazy. So that is why you say, why was her emotion so high? Why was she acting like this? She had been judged and said those things like that to her the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
She never got an opportunity because you already thought you were better than her because she grew up somewhere. I got a gang of friends from the hood. You know what I mean? You could be 2 seconds from poverty at any moment of your life.
Yep.
So why are you acting like that?
True.
But you the one pulling up at somebody's apartment.
You see, and those are the types of morals that go hand in hand with the type of personality that we saw. When you watch somebody that is off-putting, that takes every opportunity to bring somebody else around them down or to destroy happiness. I mean, we saw, her talk about somebody's handbag. That, like, what type of favor were you trying to gain with that other than self-gratification to propel yourself over, like a feel-good moment, sort of, because this person, oh, I caught somebody doing something bad. Oh, I get a chance to feel good about myself in this moment because of what their, downfall or mistakes or whatever it is. And we saw this happen throughout this whole process. Now, regardless of, how one might have thought that, they were edited unfairly and things of that nature, you the words that comes out of your mouth, right? And then your actions, like the way that you portray those same words, they they align. Now, some in certain circumstances they may have exaggerated it to drive the point home of exactly who you are, but if you're pulling up to somebody's house in the real world based off of something that happened in this experiment or whatever, I mean, that plays hand in hand. So yeah, I mean, know better, do better. I think that there's an opportunity for her to heal, and there should be personal red flags for yourself
But
that
who
says,
do
I'm sorry.
Who do you think this is an
No,
opportunity?
I'm saying Janelle. Janelle has an opportunity to heal. We all have personal red flags, like, in certain moments when you cause so much ruckus, or, you get distraught, or you think in a bad or negative way, you sit down and have that conversation with yourself, like, huh, I shouldn't have did that. And those are personal red flags. Those are opportunities for you to address those challenges that you're having, and maybe pursue some sort of, I don't know, coaching or whatever, so that you don't remain that individual. It's sad when somebody don't see who they really are, and then they carry on like they're God's greatest thing that fell out of the sky.
But when you really are the greatest thing to fall out of the sky, you don't have to put down on other women every chance you got in front of the men to try to separate yourself from a superficial way. If you really that girl, you don't have to constantly bash and degrade other women. Like I can't even tell you the last time. Well, my mama just didn't raise me to be concerned with other people. But in the dating sphere, like, you know, when they're like, did you feel like it was competitive? Like, what do you? No, I don't, because I'm worried about me. And I know what I bring to the table. So I don't have to drag somebody else to try to make myself look better.
Right. Well, you have to also too think about this in this way. A lot of people, I'm not, and please don't take this as a blanket statement for me to, broad brush successful people, but a lot of people hide behind success because of their insecurities, right? And so, in other words, you have those people that are so insecure in life that they do everything and they drive so hard to be something so that they can be able to use that as leverage to discount what other folks do or to discount who other people are.
I agree with you. And, you know, it reminds me of this show that I watched, whatever Anna, you know, the girl that came here and pretended. And this is me. I'm sorry. Let me say what I'm talking about. So about being successful, right? About people when they get to a place of success. But sometimes that's even for Gazy's success too, because we saw in the Netflix series with whatever Anna, what is it called? Something Anna, where she pretended to be so successful that successful kind of caught on. Money caught on. She was able to, I won't say defraud people, but I mean, she was able to manipulate the situation to place her, you know, different social circles and get money. I mean, I'm in Houston, and one of the things I've never shouted about, when they're like, Stacey, what do you date? What's dating like? Invent. Yes, thank you, Apple Charm. It is inventing Anna. Like, you invent this entire persona of yourself and you sell it to people so that they'll believe you. And that's what this is. That's exactly what that was. And like I said, like the dating scene in Houston, I'm always like, y'all, I don't know who's who sometimes. We've all known people who said they did this or that as a job. Hell, we've seen it on other seasons of Ready to Love where people be lying about what they actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anybody have anything else to say about Janelle and the Tequila fight?
I think we got it.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving forward, because that was like, that scene was only like 1 minute. That was how it started. So the actual part 2 starts off with the next scene. We have Janelle, Kat, Quentin, and Marie. They talk about their experience together. Kat speaks about how Janelle addresses her the wrong way. Quentin wants Kat to explain further. Then Tommy asks Kat, well, wasn't you the one calling her out of her name? Then Janelle speaks about the obsession that everyone has with her. Her presence challenges their mediocrity. If you give me a second, guys, I do want to play that clip. I do want to play that clip.
Every time I hear that, I'm so offended because, girl, bye. Just, who said it in the background? Lee. She was in the lounge at the time, and she was like, girl, bye. Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. So we're just going to play that one scene just because it was a lot. And I know a lot of you may have maybe forgotten. So it's just going to be about a minute long. And I'm not going to show the whole thing to let you guys know for copyright issues, but you will be able to hear it.
Oops. Janelle, what's your take on this?
You know, Tommy, what's so interesting about this process
me mute because these puppies run.
We lost the audio on the clip.
With
Very
you.
obsessed.
Stop it.
I have never. I'm 42 years old.
You have an issue with everyone on the cast. Like, let's cut the
Obsession.
Janelle.
Let's let her finish.
Obsession, girl.
Go ahead. Janelle, proceed.
I'm 42 years old. I've been in some rooms with some extraordinary people, and I've never once in my life felt insecure. Yet my presence, by me simply walking the room, challenges their mediocrity. And that is not my problem.
You're so delusional.
And it will not be my problem. And see, also with these girls, there is never an instance where they can say, well, you did it. It's crazy talk for people who don't have connections. Everybody who has a problem with me went home. So maybe if you were less worried about if Janelle likes you and how Janelle rubs you and get one of these men to rub you, you would have a very different outcome.
Ciao. Go ahead, J-Dub.
Yeah. First, I think it was very interesting the way they did the placement in the seats on the stage. Like we got Quentin right beside Kat, and then Janelle on the other side. And this was the first time. I'm glad you played this back, Sabrina, because I didn't really hear Janelle say no one like had any reason or basis to say like she's the mean girl and all that. And I thought Kat broke it down pretty evenly. I mean, and I think it's a blanket statement. I share the same views as Kat on this. Like, I don't like to be in spaces or company when people speak to me very disrespectfully, like an aggressive tone, you know, condescending, demeaning, all of that. And she broke it down. That's exactly what Janelle has done. And I don't know how Janelle thinks that Kat didn't explain. That's exactly how she does. It's off. It's very off-putting. And I don't even know how to deal with it, or even who would want to deal with that. And before, I don't want to go too far, but just the fact that Janelle, instead of like really addressing it, she just wanted to kind of do a little monologue to let everybody know she's on this level and that everybody, you know, is dealing with their mediocrity. That's why it's so hard to like digest her or deal with her, you know, which I thought is ridiculous. And they said the right word. It's delusional. You know, she has a delusion of grandeur. Like, you know, she's just this wonderful, untouchable, beautiful, amazing girl. Not to take away anything from her beauty, but you know, it's a lot of things said on the YouTube street that I agree with, but I really wouldn't get into it. But I think she thinks she's more than she is, and I'm comfortable in saying that, whether inside or outside. So I'm gonna let somebody else have it.
All right. Since you decided to let me have it, I'm gonna have at it. Here's the deal, man. This goes back to what I said from the beginning, or from the beginning. Sorry, I'm gonna get called out on that. Anyway, so this is what I said from the beginning. Somebody is using their accomplishments, their success, to hide behind that as an insecurity to invalidate others so that they can have more validation for themselves. No one gives a shit about, I'm so sorry. No one cares about what you do, right? Especially in this type of environment. Like, when we walk in the store, right? And the store owner is there, do we give a shit that he owns the store? No. Do we walk up and down the aisles and say, oh, I'm so envious of this guy that he's taking my money while I push my cart to the checkout? No, we don't give a damn. Be who the hell you are and live with yourself. Why do you have to explain to us how great of a person you are, how much you've achieved and accomplished, right? If, in fact, you know, you're happy within. We don't care. I don't think no one does. I mean, and just like Kat said, I don't really think that Kat gave a damn about, you know, any of those accomplishments. What is it all about? Like, stop, drop and roll. Like, do something. Like, do something. Please. I'm done.
I think this is the first time on your panel, Sabrina, that we've been like all on point. Normally, earlier in the season, we may have had like some differing of opinions, but we're all like on the same page as this. Like, when do me and J Dub both say delusion of grandeur? Like, when do we both agree on that stuff? Like, I mean, it's beyond delusional. And I've been critical of men on previous seasons where I'm like, it's a phrase. If a real man never has to say he's a man, right? He never has to try to say it and try to prove that he's a man. And this is applying to Janelle. Like, girl, if you got it, you don't have to say you got it. That's like somebody who gets something new for the first time and be like, you remember when cell phones first came out and you half of us had them, but you always had that one person like, ooh, I got the new Metro cell. Great for you. Like, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all that. And I don't know if y'all noticed, like, because Sabrina, I told you on Friday night when we were live with you, watching your live replay, like your live reaction, I was like, my son walked out. I had to stop taking notes. So I had to rewatch it today. Before we came on. And I was just like speechless. Because I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, when I replayed it, I saw when they were cast calling, like, okay, which cast is going to be on this? Nobody said Janelle, but yeah, she was sitting up there. They said that was a segment for Kat, Quentin, and Marie, right? Why was Janelle there? She had no reason. If you look at the seating placement, she had no reason to be there. Like, why are you here? And then, oh gosh, let's get into Quentin, because he's just as much as a gaslighter as she is. He was like, and I saw, thank you, Sabrina, for being on your Super Sleuth and reposting Quentin's live. It was absolutely disgusting, because he was like, we saw him say, I love her aura and this, because y'all share the same damn dumb ass aura. How about that? Y'all share. You're rude and nasty, and so is she. And y'all ain't even together. So why are you sitting here telling these people, oh, but she started with bye. Girl, why? Is all of that energy necessary at this moment? You don't have to say nothing. So yeah, Kat was gonna be pissed and weird. Yeah, I don't blame her. My energy would be on 10 too. Because you got somebody that's constantly playing with the cameras, playing with production, poking you, and then as soon as you see that red light on, and I'm such an eloquent speaker, and all women everywhere when I enter the room. And I don't know if y'all caught Quentin say that when she enters the room and when I enter the room. If you don't get off my TV screen.
But y'all do realize that when I took this screenshot, this was Quentin's face when Janelle was saying all those things.
Looks like intimidation to me.
Because Kat was looking up like, oh, girl, please, you're deluded. Like, when she was saying all this stuff, this was how Quentin's face looked. He was kind of like, what? I was kind of confused. I was like, I got to rewind this. I was like, hold on. I was like, does he in real life have a problem with her saying these things? But he's, you know what I mean? Like, putting on, like, I'm so confused because his facial expressions don't match the things that she was saying about herself. Like, his face should have been like, yeah, that's right, baby. Tell him. That's not how his face was.
Right.
So I was so confused. I was like, wow, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I saw.
Well, maybe
I read it differently.
Yeah, I also didn't like Tommy chiming in this moment to go to bat for, like, oh, well, Katrina or Kat, didn't you say the same thing? Man, sit down. Like, let these people talk or whatever. You know, I think he was. It made me feel like he was advocating on Janelle's behalf, and it's kind of like, I get it. You're the host. You can get people's takes, but don't start calling people out for the f shit that they was doing, because you can call out one but not the other. You got to call them all out. If you want to do that, then call it out on both sides.
Facts.
Period.
Because Tommy really did, unless they cut it out and we didn't see it, it really seemed like Tommy had favoritism this season.
Right.
Like on
Yeah.
that stage for the reunion, I was like,
Yeah.
what? I
What
was
is happening?
so confused, but
which is true, because one of the words Janelle said was like, she said it to Lee later on, and I'm sure we'll get to it, was, why aren't you being accountable? Why aren't you being accountable? Nobody is holding her accountable for anything. You know, why do we have to, we can't say anything to offend her or to question her or to challenge her. Why? She don't give me that energy. So why are we on stage and she's giving nothing but passive?
yeah, facts. I don't know. I just all I saw was like the manipulation. Oh my God, it just reminded me of my season. Like how she was talking, like like no, and the only reason I was like, oh my God, if that's not that Z girl. I was like, because off camera, it's like completely something different, like that mean spirit. And then when them cameras cut on, it's like the manipulation, like she played in our face, like she used the cameras as her tool, and that's exactly what she did. And and I mean, by now though, a lot of people see her for whatever they see her as, because who am I to say? But I just feel like the gig is kind of up now. Like, I mean, I just don't know, but it's unfortunate because I really feel like she does not care. Like she does not, like, I feel like this is her in real life.
Right. And
It's
then
crazy.
manipulative, the entire season, you were given more or less a favorable cut. And I saw on social media, I mean, through other outlets, because obviously I don't follow her. And she doesn't follow me either before I get attacked for that for no reason. We saw a long dissertation that she put out there blasting production when you had a favorable cut. Girl, what is you talking about? So now you mad at production because the public ain't fooled by you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she thought this would be a great opportunity for her platform and to grow following, and things of that nature. And it's like,
but if you so great, why do you need this to be an opportunity? If
right.
you so great and you walked in the room and I danced and held hands and walked in a room with so many great, exceptional people, why are you using this as a stepping stone instead of
Well,
using this to actually find love?
well, and it's I think it's one of those situations where you have somebody that is heavy on their own brand throughout the beginning of the show, right? And then they feel like when they watch this stuff back based off of how they represented themselves, they also took their brand down with them. Like, and so my thing is, at the end of the day, if that's one of the things you have to be careful with when you come on reality TV. If you're going to go and put your brand out there, they may smear it. You just don't know, and you give them the right to do so.
But in this case,
And so for you to get upset because you brought a product to them and said, "Here's my product," and you thought that they were going to market that product the way that you would market it, and then they hand you over your product, and it's broken, and they give you the bag and say, "Okay, you can put it back together again if you want." You can't blast them. I mean, you named names. You named Anthony, and And not only did you name names, you named first and last names. Like pretty much you put everybody who's on the credits of the show on your thing, and you gave them a middle finger on the way out the door. Now, how does that define you as the successful, non-mediocre, you know, queen bee of everything? Like, how does that define who you are?
But what's crazy is this wasn't even a production doing. You did it your damn self. This, you know, all that you said, Paul, I agree and disagree at the same time, because everything that was done by her. She had a favorable edit. She had, you know, we're looking at the reunion and we're seeing her get passes, no accountability, no fugazi calls out. They even pressed that with Maria and Jessica, because Tommy was looking, yeah, right. Like, yeah, come on now. Okay, in a year we'll see where y'all at. Like, Tommy, you ain't need a year. Shoot, you needed a minute. You needed a minute, because we saw on the last on the first episode of the reunion, she couldn't even find out one nice word to say about Maria.
Right.
So why are we playing?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, though. Right.
And she continued it with a dissertation of bullshit.
Yeah, which I didn't understand, but
All right, guys. Hold on one second.
Well, why are you looking for that? I also caught, like, in her grandstanding, my presence challenges their mediocrity. Ain't none of these women mediocre. Let's be real. Like, let's be real. These ain't. Come on. These are real career women.
There was some amazing, successful women on this season.
But then she referred to them as these girls. So that was her again.
She knew exactly what she was doing by saying that.
Instead of saying the other ladies,
She was trying to demean them.
That's the things that some of you guys might, you know, look past. But you can, to a woman like me, that was resounding. Oh, well, these girls, these other girls. No, these ladies. Let's be respectful. You want everybody to respect your ass. You be respectful too.
So who would like to read this? Would anyone like to read this?
Someone with excellent eyesight. There we go.
Somebody with excellent patience. And then how are you trying to act like you reading somebody and you had time to proofread, spell check? Like, this wasn't an off the cuff something. This was you had time to go back. Like, things in words. It's one thing to just blurt out something or even to send out a quick text. This is 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. So you had time to think about how you was gonna say the stuff. And you still chose violence. You chose, and you know what, Sabrina? This is my problem with her. And this is my problem with people like her. Don't go one paragraph playing with the Lord. Don't play with the Lord. And then you come with the next 2, 3 with the negativity, with the ignorance, with the hatefulness. Like, that kind of trajectory to me is some straight up, like, don't play with the Lord like that in one paragraph when you're talking about your stuff. You're so godly and you're so blessed. And then F everybody, y'all ain't nothing, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's me being Southern. I don't know. I don't play with the Lord like that. You're not going to catch me giving all these praises and gratefulness and gratitude on one breath. And then the second breath, second paragraph, third paragraph, I'm still going in on hatefulness. That's unnecessary. You should have kept it at the first paragraph and said it is finished and hit send.
But the first paragraph alone is just a condescending vent. Like, can we scroll up?
They're bruised egos. No, boo, your ego bruised. Your ego.
Can we go to that first paragraph just for 1 second? All right, here we go.
Sabrina wants somebody to read it.
Yeah, talking about I set out to show women that they could show up as their authentic self. I did that. I set out to disrupt the status quo
Wasn't shit
of
authentic.
matchmaking and empower women of all sizes that they could have what, who they wanted. I did that. I set out to prove that you could honor your standard of beauty, sans all the augmentations. I did that.
Again, attacking people who has augmentation. I had my boobs done. Actually, my boobs were bigger than what they are now, right? I nursed 3 freaking kids. So sans augmentation, because I wanted to look back at myself and feel like like what I wanted to feel like before I had kids, before I donated all of my elasticity to their health. Again, that's a woman with like life experiences.
Stacy, let P.O. finish reading it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I set out. I set out to hold it down for the 40 plus girlies. I did that. I set out to show people that you can love God, stand on his word, and still be incredibly flawed, yet favored. I did that. It is finished. To the cast of this season, we share a unique experience that lives only amongst us, instead of supporting one another collectively through this tumultuous process. We allowed our egos to overpower us and rob us of what could have been an impactful moment. We could have done awesome things together as a collective. Instead, you allowed yourselves to be manipulated by the machine, pseudo celebrity, and pride. An opportunity for excellence was truly missed, and we all played a part in this. Then the castmates, one by one, with their bruised egos, took to Facebook groups of equally miserable people, struggle blog sites and YouTube channels that aren't monetized to talk about me and to lie. When the truth was good enough, you didn't talk about your brands or businesses, not your love connections on the show, and not what you learned from the process, but just me. So, yes, you are in fact obsessed, but it's okay. I forgive you. And I hope that amidst the rubble of this experience, you are able to find peace, real reality, your real names, a functioning website for your pseudo businesses, a dictionary to increase your vocabulary, and board certified psychologists to help you unpack your childhood traumas and low self esteem. Oh, and to Anthony Sylvester, Simone Slaughter, Nawara Blue, respectfully, you are the scum of the earth, the seeds of dissension you've sown, your lack of integrity, and all around poor work ethic are befitting for where you found yourself in life. At my footstool, may God have mercy on you for how you've treated his chosen. Deuces, ready to love.
Great
I
job.
Good job, P.O.
I like that. You took me there.
I'm sending him a 4-page letter.
Well, let me go. And I'm gonna go into a whole nother different direction that people would not expect me to go into. Normally
Please, we would love to hear it.
I go into people. I'm tough on people. I'm very cynical. However, when I see that, especially when P.O. brought that emotion out of the letter, what I see, Janelle, and what was brought up in the chat, you can see Janelle is that hurt little rejected girl that was adopted. We see some insecurities there. I mean, they're flaming, and something's going on there. She's not well. Something is wrong. She's in trouble. And she needs some extensive psychotherapy. I am Dr. J Dub, but my doctorate is only honorary. But I can tell you like this: she needs some help fast. She's friends with Jessica. Jessica needs to start with the sentence, "Are you okay?" She needs help. She's lost. So
was it on The Color Purple where she said, "Just because you pretty on the outside don't mean you pretty on the inside"?
that wasn't in Color Purple.
Which one was it? I'm about to Google it. One of our Black classics. Hold on, let me find out for y'all.
Yes. So if you guys are interested, that was courtesy of Janelle's Instagram post that she did put up on Instagram. So you guys can check it out. I'm not sure if it's still up there. I actually got it from one of the groups. It was floating around social media. So I did see that, and I figured that I would communicate that to you guys. I was going to do a live about it, but I figured it just didn't make sense to do a live about it. So I figured I would share it with you guys. It is the end. And yeah, so you guys know exactly how she felt. Just to let you know that the people that she mentioned at the end that she was calling them scum, those were producers of the show, just to let you guys know, because I've seen a lot of people wondering who she was by that. So it was people that worked on the show.
And actually, one of those folks run the show. Their title was show runner. Yeah.
Well, again, P.O., that was a great reading. I felt like I was listening to Shakespeare. I appreciate that. That was a great segment. I like that.
Yes.
Did a great job.
You did. And I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. And you know what? I didn't even have my glasses on.
Oh, you did. Well, I made it big enough. So
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yeah, so we could all see it. Yeah, wowzers. Okay, Barry Flair says, and she didn't even get a bad edit.
Right.
I don't know. All right, so would y'all like to move on to the next scene?
We always want to move on. Always want to move forward. Always.
Moving forward. All right, so let me see what I have here. All right, who do we have? Sorry, guys. Let me get my... All right, yep. So we got Chris. So next we have Chris to discuss his journey. Chris explains that he did not call Jessica combative. He did not say it. He didn't say it, and he gonna stick by it. He says, but they did have combative situations. Maria says on his daddy grave, he never called her combative. Chris was like, man, you gonna sit up here and say that you ain't call her combative? Maria was like, look, I said on my daddy grave, I never said that. I never called her that. Just didn't happen. Okay. So Maria and Chris go back and forth about that. And Tommy also says, like, no, Chris, you said it. Like, we all heard, like you said, you said it. Like, just hold yourself account. Like you said it. Chris then apologizes for calling her combative. He says that she was being a bully in her antagonistic ways. And then Jessica gets into it with Kat. And then, yeah, that's a whole nother scene within itself. So if you guys don't mind, I would like to play what she says to Kat, and then her and Kat kind of go back and forth. And it was a lot, and I was not going to type all that. So if you give me a second, I would like to play that part so you guys can hear it at 18:20. Give me 1 second, if you don't mind. All right. Thank you very much.
While you finding that, I ain't gonna lie. This part of the reunion had me looking at Mario sideways.
Really?
I don't feel like I've looked at him so sideways until this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go.
Disconnect and let you love the other ladies. Did I not say that?
Again.
Did I not say? Hold on. Did I not say that? Oh, okay, they mutes. Got it.
We're not mute, sweetheart. We're listening to the conversation.
I just asked.
I don't have to answer you when you ask. You're my mom.
Come on, Kat.
Let's keep the energy down. We're sitting here and we're listening to both perspectives.
It's not that
I'm not your
deep, girl.
sis.
You're right,
I'm
because
not
I don't
your
deal
sis.
with bitches
let's
like
calm it
you.
down.
Moving along.
Honestly, I feel like Jessica is combative. And if someone's displaying that, they're going to be called that.
Oh, okay.
And then secondly, my other thing is too, what's wrong with the word combative?
What's wrong with
Because
it?
if I'm being combative, I want you to let me know that so that I can fix that trait.
So let me say this. At the end of the day, let's just agree to disagree. But let's agree on this, that we got to speak to our sisters the right way.
All right. So, of course, this scene starts with him saying that I never said that she was combative. I didn't say it. Marie said that he didn't say it. And Chris was like, you did say it, etc. And then that scene with Kat and Jessica. Your thoughts on that scene, guys?
My thoughts. Oh, I can't wait to get on this one because I mean, when Stacey just mentioned that she looked at Marie different, you know, I was thinking myself, I was looking at Chris, but I never looked at Chris any different. I knew Chris truly lacked character. And this scene, it really showed up big time on that in so many different ways. I mean, the fact that one, throughout the episode and the reunion, he was still denying, and let's go here, denying and lying that he did not call Jessica combative. And I mean, and you can stand on it. I mean, if you said it, stand on it. And then Chris proceeds to say, well, all the guys at some point called Jessica combative.
And
I
believe it.
Okay, well, whether they did or they didn't, you know, that lacks integrity. You know, we got it that for real, nothing really stays in the you know, in the lounge or whatever.
Mario was telling it all.
Yeah, they don't. It doesn't stay, but just the fact that you do that, like I said, you know, I can't speak for a woman. As a man, that was not very honorable at all. And not only that, like I said, this is coming from the guy who could rationally cuss Jessica out. You know, he got, I guess, extra emotional or whatever was said. You know, I don't go into editing what was said, what was not. I saw what I saw, and like I don't see the accountability at all dealing with Chris. And then again, more so, I look at the people who, you know, as they say, cape for this man. You know, like I said, he talked crazy. He's lying. I just don't understand it, you know. But that's the thing about this wonderful YouTube world. We have so many different perspectives, and we also see how the people who connect with certain people or certain personalities. I just thought it was like quite ridiculous to me. Chris showed who he was. You know, I was with him with the servitude and all that. You know, he wanted a woman to serve him up. I got all that. I'm with all that, and I agree with him when he didn't. He spoke to Jessica saying, like, the way you talk to other people, I need you to talk to me differently, nicely. I was subscribing to all of that, but after that, he lost me big time, and his supporters. So I'm gonna give it to y'all.
Yeah, Chris, bro, like, I get it, man. You know, sometimes, and I think in this process too, sometimes you don't know how you said the words, and you know, you say a lot. But one thing that he said consistently across the table was combative. I mean, and then when they played it, you know, you got to own it. And I get it. It's an embarrassing thing when you caught red-handed in the act. But that's the perfect time to man up and say, you know what? I did say that. And, you know, maybe give some context around why you felt, you know, you didn't say that initially or whatever the case may be. So I feel like, you know, right there, his opportunity to make that moment right was gone. And it's not really about what I think. It's about, because I mean, at the end of the day, I understand the process. You know, I know what goes on, but the way that people are going to view him after this episode, it's like, oh man, you be lying. You know, you couldn't keep it real. And they will always attach that to his name. Unfortunately, you know, he's going to be the guy that's known for, you know, the combative comment or whatever, and not, you know, some of the great things that he did do while he was on the show. It was just a blown opportunity that I think he missed, with regards to, you know, standing on his principles. Now, the other thing that I thought he could have did a better job at was, you don't deflect that to Morier and say, well, you did it too. You know, it's like, you know, I just got caught stealing, and J Dub also has a Snickers bar in his pocket that he stole too. Like, that's not what you do. You know, you take what happened to you, and you own that, and you just deal with it. And you know, if J Dub gets away out of the store with the candy bar, that's fine. J Dub might get to the door and get caught as well, but you know, you got to worry about yourself in that moment. So you know, I think that was a missed opportunity there too. And you know, unfortunately, like I said, um, you know, people will paint him as that person. I think he's a decent guy though overall. I mean, we all get caught up in a situation or whatever, or you know, maybe we may have said something and didn't mean it, or you know, whatever. But you know, like I said, this is probably just a not so good situation for him and at this time. So that's
What
it.
was the word of the reunion? We gonna agree to disagree? Because I'm gonna agree to disagree, and I'm okay with whatever heat I catch.
Mhm.
Right? Chris he takes me as a literal person.
Mhm.
He didn't say, he was talking about well, he said, and I wrote it down, that was a combative situation. That was a combative situation. It got combative at one point. He said that. And it
Yeah.
wasn't until his eliminate that he was like, well, I think you are combative. So when Marie was gaslighting, was like, he said it on a date. Yeah, the elimination date. He finally said it to her. I do think you are combative. But the examples that they showed was he was talking about situations where it was a combative situation. I also don't like the way Jessica tried to fool people. And was like, well, I mean, we're 4, 5, 6 weeks, girl, by it. And that process ain't that long. And he wasn't there that long. Quit playing. And he was like, we weren't even talking. We weren't even like that at when we got to the retreat. Like we weren't even on that when we got to the retreat. I was exploring my other options. I do not agree, before y'all come for me, I do not agree with how he spoke to her. No. And he said he had already, from what he said on stage, he had already apologized to her. But for Jessica, she was still being combative and interrupting. And I don't know what she was trying to say, because she was just saying a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, the fact that he said these situations were combative, that's not such a big deal to me. Because like, we've had combative situations. Me and J Dub, we've had situations that were combative. And I saw it in the chat before, like, you know, when people be tagging me, Sabrina, like after the show, when they tag me in their comments, like maybe people that don't watch the live because they have whatever they have to do, and they come back and they're like, Stacey was and attacking and this, that. I don't be mad about that. You know, we've had combative situations. I'm not offended. You know what I mean? I think that, yeah, it was an emotional exchange. I think that he was wrong for how he spoke to her, but we can't negate the fact that she was being combative. She was even combative on the reunion, and Kat said it her damn self. And let's also talk about, he said, and this is one thing that differentiated him from Quentin. He said, you know, you were you were rude, you know, to the other women. Like, how many of us can see ourselves with somebody who we give a pass for them to constantly be rude to other people, to constantly be mean to other people, to constantly be just ridiculous, to be a mean girl or a mean guy to other people? Because you say, okay, like, this is my soulmate and we have so much in common, and then they're hateful to other people. Like, how many of us can be with somebody with that character?
Well, let me get in there. Well, like you said, whether she was combative or not, the problem came in is when he did not own it. You know,
Right.
that's like I said, I speak from a man's perspective.
But
That's
he
not
didn't own. What
Stacey,
didn't he
you're
own?
interrupting me.
I'm being
You are
combative.
interrupting me.
I'm being combative.
You should be okay with being combative. That is a problem. I know you said you don't have a problem.
I know you like
being
women better seen and not heard. As you agreed with him earlier, this is words out of your own mouth. This. Oh, he gonna turn the camera off on me. Yeah, I'm just playing. J-Dub is not that guy. Oh my God, don't take it seriously. But J-Dub, he was like, if you said, so if I was like, J-Dub, this one, sometimes our banter back and forth is taken differently by people who don't know us, who observe us, right? But we know each other and we know what we mean, right?
Right.
Well, what if I said, J-Dub, I felt like the other day you were being very rude to me. I felt like that was a rude situation. That doesn't mean that I think you're rude or that I'm saying you're rude. I'm saying my experience in this situation, it was a rude exchange. Maybe on your half, maybe on my behalf, whatever. And then I came back and I told you to your face, yeah, that was rude. That is the same thing. I mean, we can say it's semantics, tomato, whatever, but what they replayed was not him saying she's a combative person. What he also said was, you know, when you're being assertive, you don't have to do that with me. You don't have to have your guards up with me all the time. You know, it's something, sometimes we women, we had to fight all our life. And sometimes we don't recognize when we are in a safe space and we don't have to bring that same energy to our partner. You know what I mean? So to me, that was, when I was looking at it, that was what he's saying. Now, I'm going to go again and say, I'm not excusing him for that moment when, you know, at elimination where it was all fire, right? I'm not saying that. I don't agree with, you know, how she was spoken to at all. But if we all heard the same thing, he was saying it situationally. And when you're a literal person, and you're like, well, I never said that she was like, I never called her aggressive. I never called her, you know, hateful. I never said you were this or that. I didn't brand you as that. I said this situation it was an uncomfortable situation for me. That is what I heard. And I appreciate and respectfully dissent.
So here's what
I need to get in here. I need to get in because actually it was my point to talk. Stacey, I heard everything you said, but didn't hear nothing you said. You cut me off. You didn't. That was very combative of you, and you were okay with that. You know, I'm suggesting. This is a suggestion. You got to do some self-reflective work. We're not supposed to be cutting each other off.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you. Yep, doctor, it's J-Dub. We're supposed to let people finish their points, say what they have to say, and then you go or the next person goes. So like I was saying with Chris, like I said, it wasn't about him using the word combative and tomato. He said that her dress was combative. He said the air around her. He wasn't calling her combative. That part doesn't matter. Coming from a male's perspective, again, it was very dishonorable for him to deny, act like he didn't know, and then throw everybody under the bus behind it. Oh, guess what? They said it too. Everybody said it.
They
Whether
deserve to be
or
thrown
not.
under the bus.
Yeah, like I said, it's which is shown that it's in all walks of life. A lot of us come from different places. So I get it. I get it. I don't expect Chris to be stand up in that manner. And that's what it was. And people can understand that. It's like where a certain type of people come from, we would rather cut out our tongues before we do that, whether it's true or not. So I'm not finished, Stacy. Don't be combative.
I understand the combative gene in my body, and then I remember PO is next to me.
Okay, I appreciate I appreciate that self-reflective energy, Stacy. You're growing in front of us already. You're gonna be the best Stacy B there is. So anyway, let me just saying, I just really have a problem with that. And like I said, to me, Chris shows the lack of character to me because again, I didn't have to hear or see what Jessica said for him to behave like that. That's like you, Stacy. If I don't like you saying something to me or you're being combative, I just start cussing you out. I could do that, but that would look terrible on me. And I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that because regardless of how many times you cut me off or whatever you get combative with me, I don't feel comfortable disrespecting you because you deserve respect, even though you're being combative.
Well, so, if I went on and I took it another level and I dragged you and dogged you and made up rumors about you, if I slapped you, kicked you when you was down, did all this stuff, and you had an emotional moment and went slap off on me because I deserved it. But I'm not saying Jessica deserved it. But I'm just saying it's got to be accountability sometimes for people who provoke other people. And maybe I'm just in here and I'm seeing how Janelle provoked everybody and then everybody reacts. And I also think like sometimes men get an unfair assessment when they sit here and they take shit for so much, and the one time they pop off, oh my God, they're the worst people on earth. I see it happen all too often with, so many Black men. So I'm not saying, I definitely don't agree that she deserved that at all. So don't act like I'm justifying the cursing out. I'm talking about the combative part. Don't keep displaying a behavior and then you mad that people call you out for the behavior that you displayed.
So I'm going to say something before we move forward. And the only thing I wanted to point out is this. You say whatever you want to say, combative or whatever. Who knows? Who cares? I'm simply saying at the end of the day, he had an opportunity to fix the statement and say, or clarify. I didn't say I called you combative in that moment or whatever. I said X, Y, and Z. He didn't take the opportunity to do that. And that's why I said he'll always be defined as that guy who lied about the being him calling her combative when they pretty much produced the evidence of what they said. The way that we interpret it, the way that we may look at it is, especially from being with inside of the process, it has no bearing on what the American people that watch the Oprah Winfrey Network sees. They see it their way, and it is what it is. So next scene.
Next. Oh, and also I forgot to add one more Chris situation where like Stacy was giving him kudos for apologizing. Right behind it, he made some type of excuse, like where he erased the apology. The people in the chat are really bringing these receipts out, and it actually happened. And I just think it was ridiculous, But again, like I said, we got different personalities in this world. People go up for different people, and people identify with certain personalities. I get it. We're all not the same, and we come from different places.
Well, I'll end it since we leaving this, since y'all have combated Sabrina into leaving this, bullying her. I'll end with my last note on this was Jessica saying, See, that's why I don't deal with bees like you. Oh,
Well, let's go. Let's keep going. We ain't done. And Stacey, thank you for standing up for the men. Yes, we get an unfair shake, but this whole world is unfair towards men. And speaking of, like, we can't feel, we have to think a certain way, we can't speak on certain things and all that. Like I said, it's a brand new world where everything is flipped upside down. But I don't live in that world, so I really don't feel it. But it's absolutely unbalanced and unfair, you know. So.
We ready to move on to the next thing? To the next thing.
Let's do it.
I mean, you were combated into that corner, so go ahead, Sabrina.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. So next thing we have Aries and Phil. They discuss their journey. Aries wants stability. Phil hates that word. He says that his disappointment came in 1.5 weeks ago. In scene.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's
my notes get real scarce after.
Yeah, that's what Aries looking like. That's it. I see a woman that's checked out, and I get it, and I got it. So, like I said, everybody, I said on my review, when Aries, she decided to let Phil go, foot rubbing Phil go. They was like, Aries she chose herself. Everybody is giving the credit. They taking the credit away from you, Sabrina. You started a trend here. When some people say no, they're just choosing themselves. It's a difference than saying no. Aries said no to Phil, and I'm glad she did. You know, she made a very sound decision. Whether they're still going out and all of that, but Aries clarified that as well, that they, you know, that was just a closure date, if you will. But yeah, it was no reason for her to move forward, especially let's take it here. Anytime a man is just talking, you know, he's serious about the future. He sees you in his life. He wants to adopt your children. He wants to, you know, just do all these wonderful things and get married, maybe have one more. But when it comes down to an area where he doesn't feel like he's being transparent, you know, that's a super flaming red flag. And I'm so glad that Aries disconnected from this man. It just almost seemed like a joke. And you know, everybody goes up and it feels just such a good, everybody's a good guy, I guess. And I guess Janelle's a good girl too. But just the fact that I felt like he was playing in her face. And, you know, I think he has something up his sleeve. You know, if that's still a good guy, that's a good guy, because you just don't just go into places where, like, spaces where you're talking about, hey, I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to start a family. I'm ready to love your children and all that. And then when it's time to talk about finances or career, you just get real vague. That's an issue. That's a character flaw. And that's a problem. It gives very fake and inauthentic. I'm gonna let y'all have it.
Yeah, I'm from this Aries interaction with Phil. I mean, I really didn't get a whole lot. It just seems like that was the close of their scene or whatever, and they, you know, just wanted to get the final thought. I don't have anything negative, positive, anything to say about it. It was a scene. It was what it was.
Oh, y'all ready for me? Well, I felt like Phil really showed his true pettiness and his foolery, because if you have anybody that has a problem with stability, mental stability, financial stability, emotional stability, then you're probably not stable, right? Let's talk about that. Who has a problem with stability? I want to say what I noted going into this scene was Janelle hating on the back side, talking about, ooh, look how they're seated. Girl, look how they seated. We saw the finale where she said, I choose myself. And then if y'all pay attention, go rewatch it. If y'all go pay attention, you can see it. Because I was like, who's in a pink suit high-fiving and hugging on Aries? It was Phil. So why did Janelle think it was a big deal about the seating? You know how that is. Production tell you to sit here and you to sit there because they both chose each other. So what are you making like a big hoo-ha about? Nada. You know what I mean? And on the bridge, you could tell that when I rewatched it and they replayed it, you can tell that Phil was in his feelings. Because he was like, you gonna do this right now, right here? Because obviously they had a conversation about this before, and he thought he was gonna win her over with that baseball, and he thought he was gonna zhuzh her with his money, but which we know he is in fact gainfully employed, but he's just not gainfully stable. What you gotta say, J Dub? Since you gave me permission.
What I mean, what is? How can you be? How can you not be stable if you're gainfully employed? I'm lost.
There's other types of stability. Like she ran down the list of things. She was like, you want to have all these, like, okay, so I'm a woman in her tender 40s, right? Much like other women on the show. We don't want to hear that you can give up your gainful employment for like fly by night whim, right? He was like, so I got on the show and it made me think about, writing again for comedy. Are you just about to give up everything for that? Like she told us it was a lot of different visions that all of a sudden he was touched to pursue. No, we want women, not all women, a lot of women, we like a vision. A misperception about strong women is that we want to lead everything. No, we tired of leading. We want you to give us our vision for our unit and let's support it. Let's see where we're going. He has a vision. He went from a comedian. He does have a job. We know that. But he done went through so many different careers, so many different concepts of where he want to go. How can you lead me and these kids if by 40 you don't know where you're going? And I don't know how old he is, but we do know he has a kid. But you want to do all of these things all at one time. How can you refill me? Refill. That wasn't even on purpose, but it just clicked. But I'm just saying, like, and then like on the little slick stuff. So I was talking to Aries on another forum, and she let us know that a lot of his commentary, so his what you call it, Paula and Sabrina, like when we go and do our side interviews,
Confessionals, catch up.
our confessionals, he filmed them after the bridge.
Right. Catch ups.
Yeah, so he was real petty on his catch ups. Real petty. Real petty. That's all I'm gonna say. Bye.
Yeah, PO, when you said you know, that's when you say gainfully employed, that could go a whole lot of ways. You can be gainfully employed at Walmart. You're the assistant manager now. There's nothing wrong with being an assistant manager at Walmart. However, maybe a woman in her 40s with 2 children and got stuff going on, maybe feel like that's not what she wants to do. And just speaking of gainfully employed, I think, I definitely am not a fan of Cure White Boots. However, she called it early, like when she just listened to the man speak. If you listen to people talk, they'll tell you pretty much everything you need to know. You just got to tune in. And even White Boots knew that it didn't sound too stable. So like if it is what it is, like Stacey B said, you don't have to, a man doesn't have to say, hey, I'm a man. You know, you can just listen to what he got going on and talking. So the only thing Aries really needed is reassurance. So apparently, Foot Rub and Feel did not provide that. She didn't ask for like bank statements or receipts or whatever. She's looking to know that, hey, this is a man that I can move forward on and build a future with everything that he said and he proposed, not something like that's up in the air and vague and all of that. You know, it's yeah, it's shaky. Like I said, they weren't just talking about dating; they was talking about going all the way in, not wasting time. So yeah, it's something.
And let me just interject because I agree with you. So what we learned was her dad was a professional, and you know this is few and far in between, Black, Major League Baseball player. You know, her family came in with like, let's protect the estate. Phil caught me. Phil, I feel like he verbalized some things he should have kept in his thoughts. Like, you know, like when you like, oh, okay, my girl got more than me. Let me see how I can chill and try these other things. Like y'all, like a lot of people very critical when it comes to women that what you call it, that are gold diggers. Even if you have your own gold, but if you find somebody with more gold than you know what I mean? And he was just giving like male gold digger vibes. Like, oh, okay, well, they got it. Let me throw all these stones in the ocean and see what skips. You know what I mean? But I think like what was a red flag for Aries was that he was saying it out loud. he found a lick and he thought he was gonna ride on that lick. And then he was mad when outside sources were like, oh, red flag, man. And then she started thinking about, oh, okay, he's saying this, he's saying that. Because you have a comfort of a lady who has an estate. And not only that, she has an excellent job in technology. So he was giving me male gold digger. But I mean, y'all said y'all want to say.
Next scene.
This
is a horrible still, Sabrina. I don't. This is.
I don't got much for y'all. So Kira discusses her journey with Marie and the Black culture and how she thought Quentin may have liked to dated white women because he was from Florida.
Yeah, this is what I call a teachable moment. This is a teachable moment right here. You know, I get what she was saying. We all judge a book by its cover. You know, persona is crazy. And it just seems like in her mind, she has, you know, like you could look at somebody the way they dress and you could just be like, oh yeah, she a freak. And she might just not be. She might be, you know, one of the deaconesses at the church. And, you know, you just caught her with a little outfit on that was slick. And ain't got nothing to do with that. Right. But the fact that in your mind, that's what you ascribe it's a freak. It is what it is. Same way with you know, with this guy. I mean, she might be like, yeah, you know, this, you know, when I see a man, a big black man, you know, with muscles, those are the types of guys I see over the white women in the gym all day. So I'm gonna give her a pass on that part. But the innuendos about, you know, how dipped in white chocolate you are versus the amount of black dark chocolate in you, like that whole situation right there, you should never compare yourself to a whole different culture when you are not that culture, right? It's just like saying, you know, I denounce myself and then you don't want to be judged for that. I mean, and you have the right to do that. Say, hey, look, I identify more with white people than blacks. I ain't grew up around none of y'all Negroes. Cool, I get it. But just because you have not grown up amongst us black people, don't come over here sprinkling what you learned on that side of the house and expect us to be up on that as well. Understand? So you have to, like, for her, it was, she probably did best when her mouth was shut. I'm just gonna say that. Because the words that were coming out of her mouth, the words and the situations that she was putting out there was not really helping. And you know, you start with one thing, you know how it goes. Production says, hey, talk about this again. And then they start building that case. I mean, it's never a safe space to be amongst a whole bunch of black people and, you know, let them know how white or how unblack you are not or whatever. So I'm off of it.
I get on it. I get on it. You know,
Thank you.
With Kira, you know, in my opinion, is a prime example of you know, when our people try to give us the good life, the better life, where like you're in spaces where you're around people who don't look like you. And I think she's suffering from, you know, I am the Honorable Dr. J Dub. And I just think that she has an identity crisis. And because at the same time, she can double down on telling Quentin, you know, and it was unfounded. Like, by looking at you, you know, I know you like to play in the snow. And like, that's not derogatory, but that's a hell of a unfounded assessment that could be offensive to some people. And at the same time, she's still saying, well, okay, when she was questioned, well, he likes white women because he lives in Florida. And they're like, what? Well, okay, maybe not white women, but Latino women. Like, yeah, I just don't understand. I'm not even trying to understand. But then turn around and get offended and hurt by Marie questioning. I mean, he said he didn't question her blackness. That's how she took it. So just saying that her black skin, you know, and she has black business and all that kind of stuff, I guess automatically makes her down. You know, that don't mean nothing. There is such thing as a term is called Oreo, but that's just a term people think and give. So just the thing that she turned into a whole Karen, a whole black Karen on this situation, that Marie offended her, but doubled and tripled down with Quentin, that because he's from Florida, that he likes white Latina women and could sit in that. You know, I have no sympathy for her. Only kudos I give her is calling out foot rubbing Phil early in the game.
So here's my thing. So I've had the experience of being pretty for a black girl, right? And in my life experience, my cousin and I, we talked about it years later. Like, we didn't recognize that this was our experience, right? Until we were much older and we had a little more intelligence and experience about things, right? And so a friend of ours growing up, right? Y'all know I'm from a very diverse area where it's mostly Creole people, and the white people our cousins, the black people our cousins. We didn't even like understand levels of colorism and things until we were older and experienced in the world, like when we got out of our bubble growing up, right? I think that even though at her grown age, she was in that bubble, right? You know, my cousin and I, we were the acceptable Black people. I don't know if it was because of our complexions or because we grew up, you know, with this family and this was their experience, and our parents, you know, had standing in our community, whatever. So when I look at Kira, now that I relook at her, I'm looking at her through the eyes of when I was a child, right? And I can not understand, but I can accept her experience. Sometimes you don't know you're that token Black girl, a Black guy, until you're older. Sometimes you don't know that you're that pretty for a Black girl, acceptable Black person, you know, until you're much older. And I think this was a learning lesson for Kira, right? I was very critical, and this is coming from me, who was very critical and offended by what she was saying the entire time. Like, just because somebody's from Florida, why would, like, again, you don't understand Hispanic culture. I mean, it's National Hispanic Heritage Month. So very many Afro Latinos, you know, have the same experience as Black Americans do, you know. You have people that don't want you to play with the darker baby dolls. You have all of this, right? And I think that I agree with J Dub. You were brought up in an area, in a segment where you had the privilege of doing things with this other race that a lot of, probably at the time, a lot of other Black kids didn't have the access to do. Now it's different. Now our kids have access to do a lot of things, right? I did take it that Kira learned from it. I feel like in her conversation, when she was like, my issue with Marie was he was coming from my character, like I don't understand, like I'm not a part of the culture, and I'm not accepting of the culture when I was speaking on preference. So I'm interested to J Dub and P.O. and Sabrina. Like, what is your take on her comment about character versus preference?
Anyone. I think she just tried to kind of, again, I'm still standing on it as the Black Karen victim, that she's playing victim, but very comfortable in saying that Q loves white Latina women because he's a Florida resident. I don't think, go ahead.
Do you think that was okay? So we know the reunion is what? The reunion is filmed a month into the airing, right? We've seen 4 weeks of Ready to Love, and here's the feedback. So do you think her responses at the reunion were based off of what she's seeing and how she's seeing people react versus how she really feels?
I think it has some type of play in it, or it's kind of influencing.
I guess, do you think that like the reunion was like an effort to save face based on feedback she's receiving? Because we know, again, the reunion is like 4 to 5 weeks into filming, into airing, not filming, but after people start seeing the stuff. So do you think this was like a save face moment?
Absolutely. I mean, the best that she could, but it's hard to save face when you're not self-reflective.
Just popped out of nowhere.
So look who's here, guys, real quick. Do y'all remember Angel? She was on the show with me. She was one of my friends on the Friends Day. Probably not yet. It's my best friend.
Hey girl, what you did you see this season?
She doesn't watch.
I'm not a TV person. I'm sorry. I got too much work to do.
Ooh, well, you ain't miss shit.
But y'all enjoy yourselves.
Anyway,
Not y'all enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. Enjoy.
All right.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna walk around. Give me 1
Okay.
second. Okay. All right.
Nice meeting you.
All right. Yeah, Stacey, I think that's true. I think she was covering. She was trying to kind of clean it up a bit and save face, but it's hard to do that when you're really not self-reflective. You don't really see anything in error of what you're saying or what you're doing. But, I believe she really just took the Marie comment personally because, I believe, in my opinion, that she struggles with that identity, and that was a sensitive area for her. And I understood what Marie was saying. Just he comes from a different place, a different perspective. Not that something is wrong with Kira. It's just that I'm into the Black movement, and probably when a woman can comfortably say, hey, you know what? I'm probably the closest thing to a white woman in here. Some people react differently, but that probably wouldn't fly or connect with the person who's a member of the Black Lives Matter coalition,
Well, I mean, we did hear Chris say you're on here talking about black, everything, but you're not being fully transparent.
Oh, well, I'm glad you brought that up. With me, Chris has zero credibility. Chris will,
Okay.
like P.O. says, he will, if he get caught, we caught. And as I said, P.O. understands the dynamic. Me and P.O. come from a different place.
I feel like you can't.
I feel like you dishonor. Stacey, stop interrupting me, please.
I'm being combative. I'm not even interrupting. I'm being combative.
Don't be interrupting or combative. Let me finish, please.
Oh my gosh.
Well, is you finished or is you done?
I'll let you know when I'm done. I will let you know when I'm done. Thank you, Stacey B. So, like I was saying, you messed my thought. Yeah, Chris is a horrible example for that because he has no credibility with me. Like I said, he'll throw his mama under the bus. And well, let me not say that because we know his mother passed. I'm not a disrespectful person. Just saying he'll throw anybody under the bus. If I'm caught, we caught. And like I said, that's where we come from. That is very dishonorable. And character is huge. And that's not really saying nothing challenging, because it got real condescending. I'm glad you brought that up, Stacey. Like, so Morier, my brother, you supposed to be so into the Black movement. Like, Chris, do you really have any legs to stand on to challenge that man's, his integrity for real? When you couldn't admit to a room full of ladies and gentlemen that you said combative, whether you said it about her, around her, whatever, a man stand on what he say, right or wrong, and then we go from there. But like I said,
can I ask you this? Can I interrupt?
You can't ask me nothing until I'm done. I'm going to get like Chris. I see why Chris cussed Jessica out now.
What's me out there?
No, I don't. Yes, Stacey, you don't want me to talk. I want you to talk. I don't want to be.
Well, I have a question for you. I have a follow-up question for you. I had a follow-up question for you. Wait, I'm with DD. Did you say you ain't almost recognize P.O.? Because he looking like a whole snack with that backwards cap on and that beard just a glistening. Oh my God. You look edible, sir. Anyway, how did you feel when Kira was like, well, now I understand how Quentin must have felt when I said these things. Now I understand this. And, blah, 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 blah. And Quentin just like regurgitated everything that Kira had just said to get a response. Or was he like, what you think he was just trying to get airtime or what? Like, what was his point? Like, what's his purpose?
Who are you talking about, Quentin?
Yeah.
He wanted airtime as far as what?
So when I have a note and I said, Kira literally stated why she was wrong and how in Marie's handling her, she finally understood like what she said to Quentin. But Quentin sat there and asked her again after she had just stated everything.
And again, you're talking about Kira White Boots.
Yeah, like towards the end of the conversation when Quentin chimed in. But it was after she was like, now I understand how Quentin felt, because must be how he felt, because I had said I put him in this box, and I'm paraphrasing, right?
Yeah. I didn't see, I must have missed it. I didn't see White Boots be self-reflective on that. So I really can't even answer that situation, because I saw her deflecting, not receiving the message, because I heard Quentin say like, yeah, Kira is offended. She's offended by Mario putting her in a box. Now she wants to put me in the same box. Like I said, which didn't make sense. That's what makes it deem her, for me, the black Karen, as they say in the chat, Sharon. Because how you gonna feel some way about something somebody's doing to you, but you can comfortably say that about me in the same context? Because just because I come from Florida doesn't mean I like white Latino women. I didn't, yeah.
Right. So I don't disagree with him on what he said, but what he said came after, and like I said, I don't know how it's chopped and edited, but from what we saw, it was almost immediately after she was like, well, now I get how Quinn must have felt when I said this and yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden Quentin chimed in. And I was like, geez, Quinn, she just said all of that. Like, she, like, the same disrespect and the same, like, offense that Quentin said when she was trying to paint him as, oh, he only likes women from this box, maybe because of his profession. Now she changed it to where he's from. She had said all that, but she was saying like, okay, it's character versus preference. Like, he was coming for my character. And then after that, Quentin chimed in and was like, yeah, I don't understand what you meant by that. And I was like, well, she just kind of said it.
Oh, okay. Well, to get in there, like when people say, just like Barry Flair said, it's a difference with character and preference. Somebody may think that you're taking a shot at their character by saying they prefer white Latino women over their black queens. So to say that comfortably without having evidence or proof, I think is disrespectful, and that again is nothing wrong with white Latino queens. It's just that you look at me or say, because I'm a resident of Florida, I must like them. So I think it's the same thing, it's the same thing to me. It's like, hey, yeah, you're projecting this onto me. I didn't give you that. I didn't tell you that. I didn't do anything to show you that. So why would you speak comfortably like that on me?
I agree.
All right, guys. So next scene, we have Lee. She discusses her journey with Quentin. Quentin explains how he made his choice by the, what is it called? By the house trip. Yeah, I made my decision. Everybody knew I made my decision. I made my decision, period, point blank. Yep, end scene.
End scene.
So I feel like this was the part where Quentin needed some sort of safe word to be able to talk. I feel like this was a guided, sort of conversation. So more along the lines of, if you step out of line, you know what it is. You know what I'm gonna do. And then for her to talk for him, like in general man terms, right? You should never have a woman speaking for you, period. The moment that you do that, and I'm not, I'm definitely not discounting what a woman can bring to the table. or any of that. I'm not invalidating a woman being able to articulate conversation, but when a man talks, if a if in fact a woman does jump in, and we saw that this whole season, where she's always stepping in, speaking for him, saying his words, and he's like, yeah, what she said. Like, come on, man. Like, end of the day, you should be shutting that down. Wait a minute, listen, I got this. This is my moment. Let me say what's on my mind. Let me tell her, let me explain to her how I felt, not you have to say it for me. And then I regurgitate exactly what you just said, according to, however you said it. It's just, I was so like, I'm like, are we serious, bro? As a man, is this what we're doing? Is this how we have now folded ourselves as men to be this sort of foldable chair that women sit on, right? And we just hold them up and let them just rock back and forth. Come on, man.
Not the chair after Alabama.
Hey, y'all better listen to P.O. P.O. preaching. He's talking from a male's perspective from a time where that was just absolutely unacceptable. But yeah, P.O., you got to understand, he's a different cut from a cloth men. So it looks better. Ladies, please listen to that. We don't like that. We can speak for ourselves. If we need you to speak up, we will ask you, please interject, because I can't get this out, or help me with this. We definitely have something to say. We can speak on our own. Of course, women have a whole lot to offer in absolute valuable perspective, but absolute, we can always speak on our own. But really, this scene for me was about like, I love Lee's energy in this moment, where she was like, she backed up. We've been saying sayings all night. A wise man doesn't argue with fools, because people from a distance can't tell who is who. Lee disconnected. She said, listen, Tommy, I can't even talk to Janelle because she is not self-aware. I can't do it. I won't do it. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to connect with the crazy. You don't have to do it. It's a choice. And absolutely, there's no reason to have a conversation with a person who's not self-aware. You'll never get anywhere. And I really enjoyed that, because it was just still a bunch of lies where, like, we saw it on camera where Janelle was always chiming in when somebody, whether it was Kat, whether it was Lee talking to Quentin, and she got to interject or she got to say something slick out the mouth. But Janelle, oh no, I never said anything. I never said anything, and Q gonna come, oh no, she never says anything, and I make my own decisions. Yeah, right. So I just enjoyed that Lee really said, you know what? Enough is enough. We can't have a conversation. I can't do nothing with her. She's off her rocker. No, thank you. So,
but you know what stood out to me, lady and fellas, was that Lee was like, it was a point where he couldn't choose me. Like, it wasn't a choice. And Janelle was hung up on, he ain't choose you, he ain't pick you. But Lee said it out her mouth. Like, there was a point where this wasn't going nowhere. Like, so why are we talking about being chose? Like, why are we focused on being chose when even if he would have tried to choose me, he wasn't in the running? Like, he had no standing there. And I implore you to go rewatch just this segment of the reunion, because Lee literally said it. I don't know what the big deal was. Like, she was like, yeah, I had a realization. I was at a point where I wasn't for the choosing. Like, she came to the retreat because of her connection with Chris and our Q. You know what I'm saying? So what are we even talking about? Like, Janelle, there's no competition here. We're not even fighting for the same thing, but I just felt like it was in poor taste that Janelle again was trying to one up somebody, like, oh, he ain't choose you. No, there was no choosing to be made. We weren't compatible. There was nothing here There was nothing here. What is this about? And of all the MVPs, if I can give the MVP award, I would give it to Lee. Because I'm sure they made her come, like, hang on a little longer than what she wanted to. And Quentin, anytime a lady is like answering for you, you a whole grown ass man. Why do you need somebody to answer for you? And then, oh my gosh. So y'all know I had time this weekend on social media. And you know, it's something I normally don't do. But, you know, the whole thing about Q was like, I never felt uncomfortable. But on Lee's social media, she replayed where he told her, and it was like, she replayed it like in the thing. I do feel uncomfortable. I do feel uncomfortable. I am uncomfortable. So, and then Quentin came back later in the segment. So first of all, he said, I never said I was uncomfortable. But then he came back and said, me being uncomfortable had nothing to do with Janelle. Well, which one was it? Were you comfortable? Were you uncomfortable? You just lied and came back and you said you weren't uncomfortable, but then you came back and said, well, me being uncomfortable wasn't. And y'all know, if I'm a ride for somebody, I'm a ride for that Coleman love. I can't. Bye, y'all.
Yo, you got anything else on this?
No, like I'll just tap in and say, yeah, Lee definitely represented herself very well, and this is how you shut down, the angry monster, and this is how you defuse, or this is how you disarm. I'm sorry, people that want to always throw, sort of shade and things like that. You don't get down on the ground and get dirty with them. You put your foot up on top of them and you walk over them. The end.
Sis said, I don't even have to be here.
She sure didn't. She was like, "Tommy, I'm not gonna argue with her. I don't even have to be here. I don't even have to be here." Cause yeah, I was like, okay, all right. Next up, we have Quentin and Janelle. They discussed their journey. Quentin ends by saying that if they get into a relationship, they are going to get married. But right now, they're, I guess, just kind of dating each other. They hit some bumps in the road. But if you guys watch Quentin, and I know the part that I caught, I actually posted his live. So he did answer a lot of questions. The live is in my videos. So if you go to my videos, the live is up there. But in that live, in the very, very beginning, he does answer the question, is he and Janelle together in a relationship? And the answer was no. They are not together anymore. And he actually went live right after Friday night, after this aired on TV. He went on live after that, and he did say on Friday night that he and Janelle are no longer dealing with each other. So, what do you guys have?
No surprise there. No surprise there at all. I mean, if we're being honest, um, there was nothing there that said this is romance. This was more of a control or a the feeding of the pigeons. You eat out of my hand what I give to you, and you come back tomorrow and I'll feed you again. And this is the type of, I don't know, this was the type of relationship that she's had with him this whole entire time. I mean, we saw, the guy, he's cooking and he's like, yes, baby, yes. Oh shit, let me drop everything and let me run over here. Like, this was the whole, atmosphere of the whole show. So at the end of the day, I didn't see him captivated by how loving she is or how supportive of a woman that she is. It's more so of how controlling or how um, you know, manipulative that she's been in this process. I mean, I don't. I mean, and like I said, I don't know, what happened behind the scenes, but based off of what television has shown me, is that he's been you know manipulated to eat out of her hand, and he's getting it how he live it. Um, when they came to that reunion, there was no sparks. They didn't even kiss like there, or nothing. There was like nothing going on, and most of the time, even like post show, you know, you'll start seeing pictures, of folks going out, hanging out, having friendly conversations. You don't see none of that with any of these people that made it to the end. You don't see any evidence that there was life after death, right? Yeah, nothing. And so that just goes to show this was fake. This was fake. This was a crafted relationship. Um, Ultimately, for you to realize, and these is his words, not mine. He wasn't ready for relationships and all this stuff. Basically, he said, I wasn't ready to love, and I still chose her in the end. And, I just have to do self work. Um, One, why did you go here? Right? Why did you waste valuable people's time? You know who you are. You know who you are not. You know how you feel. You're the biggest advocate for yourself, right? So, let's not play with words and all of this stuff, because it makes it look good at the end of it. It makes you went to the end, and you want to make it have a nice soft tone to why you guys aren't together, instead of calling it out. Yo, man, this was just for TV. Shit, I wasn't really feeling her like that. Just say that, bro. Because I mean, your actions and the end result says it for you. Just say it. I'm done.
PO, you know he can't say that. He can't
Oh
say
yeah.
it. Because you would know better than anybody, and that's keeping it way too real. But
Right.
But yeah, I mean, this is a befitting into the disaster or lack thereof connection with Q and Janelle. Like, to me, they were just a total mismatch. As we saw in the confessionals, Q wasn't being real. All of a sudden he's concerned that Janelle is 42 years old, and remember, he told Lee that he wants 3 boys, and Janelle absolutely can't give him that. And I don't think she wanted to even give him that. I don't even think she wanted any children, meaning maybe adoptive child. Because when she made the statement, 3 children in my house, like I said, it sounded like roaches and rats, not children in the house. So I mean, it's just they were just so incompatible in so many different ways. And yeah, it had to be an arrangement, because I just don't see it. I don't see the spark. I don't see the connection. You know, he, he's an active person. She's very inactive. I don't know what she'd like to do. Well, she'd like to do something with Q, because
It
she
ain't
has,
working out.
yeah, it's definitely not that. Janelle don't want to do nothing. She don't want to walk. She don't want to work out. She don't want to get the sky. Everything is
I
too
want to
much.
put a wig
And that
on.
would get old really fast for somebody who's active. But I mean, I thought she had a good one. When I say a good one, like henpecked and just do whatever she said. I think it was the line where they were at the retreat when she say, "Hey, I want to be able to, if I got a mate, I want to be able to lift, whatever load he's carrying." And Q was probably like, "Oh yeah, well maybe we can do something." Me being a personal trainer at Planet Fitness might need some assistance. So,
I mean, I think like playing off of your wordplay, right? Alignment, alliances, and agreements. This is what this is. Like, the people that made it to the end, they don't like each other. I mean, let's be real about it. Let's be real about it. Your man is a personal trainer and you don't want to work out or nothing, you block him. Like, here's my thing. Don't play with my money. If I gotta train people and this and that, and based off of what we saw in a show in a bubble, in a controlled environment, I can only imagine if he's getting like a text from somebody in the middle of the evening asking about around dinner time, asking about should I eat this or that, how she might respond. And I have, now that I know what I know and I've seen what I've seen, we can't act like Q was like complicit, like he's like this docile preacher and he was just led astray by this manipulative woman. He's just as manipulative as she is. You kidding me? He just wanted to make it to the end for whatever reason. I don't know. We talked about it before. I don't know if he needed a check or if he needed his ego boosted. I don't freaking know. But this foolishness, like, what are you even talking about? And then you're acting like yoga is for, the occult, why? What are you even talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, people want to play with Jesus and then play with Jesus. Stop it. We done seen it in her dissertation. We see it in her excuses with working out. We see it in, what I don't like is acting like just because you say I choose you and you want a badge. Like, that is the standard. Someone choosing you, regardless of if you like him or not, if y'all have a real connection or not. Just some guy saying you the one. Like, you can say what you want to say about all the other women on the cast. But if our standard of saying who you are as a woman is based on your acceptance by a man that's on the same shit you on, if that's our standard, then that's some bullshit. Like, that is just, it's unacceptable to me. Like, you try to separate yourself from the other woman based on being chose. So they're not worthy because the 4 guys at the end didn't pick one. You weren't a pick me. Well, you know what? If I'm saying everything if I'm manipulative enough to say what you want to say, what you want to hear, you're going to pick me too. That's some bullshit. Like, we talk about, like, she, like, in her dissertation, she talked about, like, all this woman live and being trying to defy the machine and all this. And at the end of the day, you try to, like, set yourself apart from the other women based on being fake chosen.
Yeah. I think all along, she had it out for, this
every woman,
great.
everybody with a vagina, she has it out with every woman.
Yeah, and also that, this would be great for her storyline in terms of her branding, right? Because it seems like she's
What's the
about
brand?
Well, I'm just saying, it seems like she's about winning, right? She's always, putting herself on a ladder over top of everybody else. And so, for her personal branding, it is, oh, I'm winning at life. I'm winning in relationships. I'm winning at everything that I do. I won the man from this person, right? Because look at how she carried herself when Jessica was there at the reunion. She basically had the the B, I won him. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was her.
That's supposed
That
to give
was
you validation.
well. So it is though for somebody that
For
is
somebody that don't have shit.
that's.
For somebody
But
that don't have shit.
egomania is real. Egomania is real, and anything that helps my ego grow or keeps it balanced or allows people to look at me in a way that I am above everybody else. You
You
know,
know what this season was given? Frown lines. I can't
to,
even fix my face. Like just when we're like trying to even just like talk about this shit, I can't even have a normal face because I'm so perplexed. And I'm just like, what are you even talking about? Like if you want to empower women, don't like try to empower women based off of a man's approval. Like you like she's walking hypocrisy. Like,
right.
what are you talking about? You're calling
So
people, you're saying people are scum of the earth and people are ego, driven by ego. I don't know, Paul. You got to remind us of the love letter that you read earlier. But
yes, she said,
all this dumb shit that she sat for 2 days, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, a month to say, she thought she was about to go in. She thought she was about to read somebody.
So I just want to take a quick pause for a second, right, and engage our chat. And so for the chat, I just want to know at this moment, and even if you catch this later, you can always, I guess, comment directly on the YouTube live or the YouTube playback. But I just want to know, um, did you think, and did you enjoy this season, and did you think it was genuine? And it's just a flat yes or no. So if it is a yes, just put a 1 in the comments, and if it's a no, put a 2 there. I just want to know how many people are on board with what my thoughts are on the season overall. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Stacey.
Yeah, go ahead with that. And I just saw Dee Dee's like her comment. Okay, Sabrina, we're part of the 40 plus club, right? Okay. Most of the women were early 30s, right? Where we are now and where they are, we're different people. We get to a different understanding. We get from a different like perspective. And like the fact that she tried to like bully them and shame them and try to like pose shame them is ridiculous to me. Like she and I are the same age. We're the same exact freaking age. And I would never, never, where I am now, maybe when I was their age, I would have the commentary that she has because I didn't know any better. Right? But where I am now, I would never treat other women the way that she has treated other women. Like life experiences, children, marriage, divorce, my experiences. I would never do that to other women. I would never do this. And I just think that this has been a grave disturbance. It has taken us in the Black women healing process. It's taken us steps back because why would you talk to and treat women who are trying to figure it out? We've been there before. Hell, her ass is still trying to figure it out because she acted like she was chose, but you weren't. Y'all over here unhinged, unstable, playing these games. A woman at 30 is just trying to figure the shit out. Why would you do that to them? You're sitting here degrading them, brand shaming them when we don't even know what your tags say. All of this stuff. And then you're like,
Fashion
I'm
Nova.
great. I'm so mature. Baby, listen, I love Fashion Nova because guess what? I understand at my age where my end game is. I understand where I want to be. You can't say nothing about no damn Fashion Nova.
That's allegedly that's where she got her blue dress from, was from Fashion Nova.
But you trying to talk about other people and saying that ain't Louis Vuitton.
Right.
Don't
That's Louis.
And
don't
see,
forget they call them ugly too. Ugly.
right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ugly
That's one.
bees
Mm-hmm.
And
or
here's
ghetto shaming.
right.
There's nothing wrong with a woman who made it, who has a great career, but still wants to live in her community. Nothing
Right.
wrong with that. Like if I can give anything to Tequila, it would be like she's where she's from, she's making it, and she's still where she came from. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? What's wrong with being impactful to your community? What's wrong with all of these other things?
Right.
All I
I
can say
mean,
is that Sabrina, hats off to you because you probably garnered um more views than this season.
um, so and I also just want to
I
tap
receive.
in. I just wanted to tap in real quick about all of those statements. I mean that Janelle was saying. If we look at this, and you think about it, like first off, men, we as men, we look at a woman if she looks nice in whatever she's wearing, we don't give a shit what the tag says. Like I don't know I don't know if a woman's wearing Louis Vuitton dress versus
Men do not
that.
care.
Yeah, we don't care.
But
And
women
so
do it for other women. They don't do it for the men.
right, and exactly. But you came on a love show to try to compete fashion with fashion. You're in the wrong goddamn show. Like I don't see other men walking up like, "Hey, yo, J Dub, okay, your suit came
That's not
from
Men's
goddamn Men's Warehouse,
wear.
and my suit came from Macy's." Oh yeah, but we don't do that. It's like, hey man, that's a nice suit, man. Who tailored that for you? Where'd you get the alterations from? Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to check them out. Like, not, oh, well, you could have got your little cuffs, you know, taken in a little bit better. Like, who cares? I don't care about that. Not, and any real man ain't gonna worry about what he's doing. If you comfortable with it, hey, live your best life. So,
Say,
I mean, I think she was focused on the wrong thing, to be honest.
Women focus on way different things than what men focus on, period.
No doubt.
no
So
doubt.
And it's and in a and in a love investing environment, that's the wrong thing to focus on is what the hell you wearing. Focus on what you're getting after, you know. But hey, I digress.
Yeah, you like
no,
you
you're not. No, you're not. If I can say this. So I was recently, I'm sorry, J Dub. I might
You
sound
just
like
cut the man off. Hold on, now you can't apologize for
no,
slicing the man's head off.
I
It's too
don't mean
late.
I don't mean it like that, but I was just like trying to add to Po's point and then I'm done. So I was on a panel, on a dating panel, and I had to do some research. And it was about like, um um wealthy people, right? You think extreme wealthy, do you know the number one car they drive? A Toyota. They don't drive Range Rovers and Benzes and Rolls Royces. Most of them drive Toyotas, and in the U.S. because they are exceptionally like America centric. They want to support the economy. They drive Ford. So what are you talking about? But go ahead. I just wanted to add to Po's point, J Dub. I didn't mean to interrupt you at all.
oh, I forgot what I was talking about. No, I was
No,
no,
you didn't.
I was yeah, no, I did. I was just speaking to PO, and you heard Sabrina say, well, women think differently from men. I understand both sides of it. Like Sabrina said, women doing it for other women. and that's what they thinking about. And like you said, P.O., we don't care about none of that. We don't care about. I don't know what we care about. We don't care about a whole lot of stuff. We don't care about your job, your money, your clothes, your purse, your shoes, and all that. We care about that the good stuff, you know. But just the fact of the matter is, the thing is, they're on here to date or find love, so they need to find out what the men like or what draws the men in. Because certainly a nasty attitude won't work for most men. So she should be thinking about, because that's how they're like that. Damn it, Stacy.
It worked for Quinn. What you gotta
Stop
say
it,
about that?
Stacy. Stop it. You got to be stopped at all costs. Sabrina, mute her or something. Get her. Anyway. See, I forgot my point. I forgot my point for real.
Oh no, you were saying.
No, let Stacy have it. Stacy's never finished. Let her finish.
I'm finished. Don't do that, because then these people gonna act like I've been interrupting you all damn day. Act right, please. Act
They
right.
might just have a
and you know I mute myself. You know I mute
might just
myself
have
all
a
the damn
point.
time. Look at me, mute myself. Boom, mute.
Oh God. I don't know. Like I said, we're gonna let anybody have it. I forgot in real life, not the fake life. So
Oh my gosh, you really forgot in real life?
I forgot. I'm telling you.
That means that shit wasn't valid.
Nah, that means that when I'm speaking, I'm not accustomed for people interrupting me, and I don't interrupt them. That's what it means.
Oh my gosh! So
we're all in our 40s. We can forget.
You are Chris, and Chris is you. You're Chris.
Oh no! Please don't say that. But that's fine. If you see me like that, if you see me that way, that's fine. But I'm definitely not a Chris at all. I'm for many reasons. That's fine. We're gonna keep going.
All right, guys, we're going to go around the room. I want you to give your final thoughts of this season. Let them know where they can find you on all social media platforms. And then we're going to wrap up this season. Start with J Dub, then P.O., then Stacey B.
Oh, I was clocked out. I can't do it no more.
Oh,
It's J Dub, R.I.P. to Ready to Love Dallas, Free Stacey B, all of that. I don't know what to say. Come
on. P.O.
Yeah, you know what? Great job. This was a very, very great job at wasting money and valuable people's time. I mean, the producers, yes, thank goodness you did get paid. I know what you guys go through out there, and the personalities that you guys got to deal with. But for this, yeah, I would not be proud of this product, on all levels. So I'll just say, to the cast of this season, thank you for giving us the opportunity to, view you and, critique dating, and to critique, you know, what we saw. I don't know any of you folks. Like, I don't drink with you. I don't, we don't talk, we don't eat, we don't break bread. I know nothing about you. I only know what you put on the internet and what the people, like myself, see on, right? So at the end of the day, if you mad because I said something about what you represented, oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't unsee what my eyes say. However, I invite anybody to sit across the table from me, and we always have a conversation. It is what it is. 100 sightings, IG, I'm out here. Stacey B.
I just want to say interjection. I was trying to add to the conversation. Sorry. Sorry, J Dub. You have my utmost respect. And my final words are probably that if you have to be the loudest person in the room So I don't want to hear y'all shit because I'm not the loudest one. I'm just the interjectory one. If you have to constantly try to dequalify the people around you, to constantly bash, hate on, whatever word we want to say, you're probably not what you think in your brain that you are. If you have to constantly like defame other people, and if I can take anything to like what I learned from this season, like if I have to learn something from it, we learned that we're not a Janelle. We're not a her. Like we don't have to make you feel less than to make me feel better. We don't have to make you feel like if you're chose, you're valid. If you make it, I think it was Jessica who said, I'm gonna make it to the finish line. And I think it was Mario that said, it's just a game. If you have to play with the people around you like that, then you're probably not what you actually think you are. You're probably what your biggest critics say you are. And that's what I'm going to leave it at.
All right. Shout out to my soulmates. Shout out to you guys for keeping the chat live tonight. I appreciate you so much. Somebody update Maddie Hooper on who we are because she is clueless. Also, too, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I am Miss Sabrina Soul. I was on Ready to Love DC, yes. Stacy was on Ready to Love Houston, yes. And PO was on Ready to Love Potomac, yes. And J-Dub is the #1 commenter on YouTube. Yes. Okay. So just to let you guys know, because it is a lot of new subscribers I have here on my channel. So many more just from Friday. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for supporting me over here. I do live reviews on Ready to Love, watch parties on Ready to Love. I just started reviewing Love is Blind, but just as soon as I started, the season is actually over. So I'm so confused right now and there's so much going on. But I will be doing Married at First Sight as well. And also Ready to Move will be airing on the 13th of October. And I will be doing a live watch party here, or I'll be doing a watch party. Yeah, I'll probably be doing it live. But anyway, also too, if you go in the comment section at the very top, I am going or running for 40 over Fab or Fab over 40. You guys know I am well over 40 years old and I am going and trying out to be the new beauty for that. So I would really love you guys' vote. It is free. If you want to donate, you could do that as well. I would so love your support. This is the last panel that we're doing for Ready to Love Dallas. You will not see us on here anymore, okay? Doing reviews or panels or anything. This is it. So however you guys are feeling, you could put in the comment section down below. You can go ahead and put them in the comments right now. The link is in the chat at the very top. If you want to vote, I'll go ahead and not put that back up. If you follow me on Instagram, it is in my stories as well. If you go to the description box below in this video, let me see. The link is there too. You can vote. I'm going to post it here. Make sure you subscribe to It's J Dub's YouTube channel. We are YouTubers here. Tyrone is not here with us tonight, but definitely make sure you subscribe to Tyrone's. His is Tyrone E. Wilson. Stacy B also has a YouTube channel. And I'm going to show it on the screen. It's called All Up in the Bees. Make sure you subscribe to her YouTube channel. I'm trying to make sure I get everything out before we go. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for like riding with us for the season. We're going to be back here next season, so make sure you definitely subscribe to our channels because J-Dub does his own reviews. I'm sure Stacey's going to be doing hers. Make sure you follow P.O. on Instagram. Get at him, okay, because he delivers. I love you guys so much. I swear.
Wait, Sabrina, before you go, you're
Yes.
being too humble because you're saying like this is the last of this season. But let me tell you about my girl Sabrina. She gives y'all some stuff. So this ain't the last. This the last of the Ready to Love Dallas.
Yeah.
Like y'all make sure y'all keep an eye out because this be dropping some gems.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it ain't
This
over.
season.
It
No, I'm
ain't
over this
like
season.
over.
I'm over this season. I don't want to talk
I mean,
about
we are over the season, but we're not over Sabrina's souls and
No, y'all
soulmates.
know
So y'all make sure you're liking and subscribing and hitting your like reminders so you can be alerted to when Sabrina's releasing stuff because she gives like literally I wouldn't have been able to have a conversation tonight if Sabrina wasn't releasing stuff and I wasn't subscribed to her and I wouldn't have no alerts because she was dropping videos, she was doing all this stuff and it helped me to be prepared. Oh my God. Don't act like we're over. Don't act like we're just ready to love. No, we're ready to life with Sabrina Soul.
Yes, I appreciate it, Stacey. Thank you so much. I love you, sis.
Just real quick, one quick thing.
Yes, P.O.
This will be really brief.
Because this is the last video for Ready to Love Dallas.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
y'all
my
want
combative ass is gonna let you speak. Bye.
Oh well, thank you. So they said, you know, do we think the producers will learn from this? I think they already have. I think actually this might be the demise of the franchise. To be honest with you, I think this may have put so much of a nasty taste in the viewership's mouth. That's the reason why they're trying to usher in this other show. So yeah, guys, I think the producers, like I said, I don't really see Ready to Love going anywhere else. I don't see any casting calls or anything like that going out for singles. They did already film the Dallas second season. However, I doubt or I don't know if they'll show it based off of this make a move situation. They may be they may or may not show that season two. And just to add to that, during the middle of the Dallas shoot, the Dallas season, second season, I'm sorry, they immediately went over and started casting for New Orleans for this new version. And it's, if just to give some context to that, when we were on the show, right, they were casting for Miami while we were in Miami. I mean, while we were doing Potomac. And then they were casting for Dallas when Miami was filming. Then they now just casted for the New Orleans one, which was, what's coming out now. But they didn't cast anything additional after that. So that tells me that either this franchise is on its last leg and, the nasty taste in your mouth might be a permanent one because, this just might do it for them. So there's that.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, P.O. Thank you. So I saw someone say something about, I'm sorry, because I just had like an adult dating thing in there. So I had to ban that because I really be focused on the chat because it'd be a lot of like stuff that pops on that shouldn't be in there. But just to let you know, someone said that you never get the notifications. So once you go to subscribe on someone's channel, make sure you click that black notification bell, because if we go live or if we post anything on our timelines, if you're on my membership, just to let you guys know, my membership channel, go to my main screen or go down to the box below, and to sign up for my memberships, I'll be doing stuff behind the scenes. We sometimes go live. We be talking about Sabrina After Dark stuff, stuff that we can't talk about on regular YouTube. I'm going to be doing the Ready to Love. We're going to be reviewing Ready to Love DC, which was my season. So much stuff. Also, too, starting in a couple weeks, it's J Dub and I. We're going to be doing our hot topic segment. And yeah, and some things are coming, and Single Soulmates is going to be starting soon. And Tyrone is going to be with me on that. So I'm excited for the move. But anyway, I love you so much, guys. Stacey B says that it is on Instagram. So if you guys follow Stacey B on Instagram, go there and follow her on YouTube. Anyway, I love you so much, guys. We're about to go. I'm exhausted. See you later. Love you. Bye. Oh, tomorrow night, interview with Kat.